Hello everybody, welcome to another installment of Sieglin's Prairie Grounds. Today I will be getting gold and damage on the Frost Mage. I'm not really used to Frost. I played around with it a little bit at Mist of Pandaria, but it wasn't that much, so I apologize if my rotation is really off. I'm not really sure how to handle getting all those icicles and whatnot. But, it's still doable. It's still very easy without knowing my rotation too well. It's all about knowing when to burst on enemies, in my opinion, for the Frost Mage. So I'm going to get into talents and glyphs here. For the first row, I think Blazing Speed is your best bet. You really have infinite movement with your Ice Lance. You can just cast that on the go. It's no big deal. So you don't really need Ice Flows. And Evanescence, as we should know, is useless because it's just basically different modified Ice Block, which you're not taking damage anyway. For level 30 row, it doesn't matter at all. Everything is defensive and doesn't help your damage. For this row, Ring of Frost and Frostjaw are both strong choices. I prefer Frostjaw because it's on a shorter cooldown and has a shorter cast, but you can probably utilize Ring of Frost fairly well. So I wouldn't argue against Ring of Frost. For this row, the only potential damage increase is Cold Snap, but if you're an Ice Nova, like I am, and I think you should be an Ice Nova because it does a lot of damage, and is also a stun, then it's only really resetting the cooldown on your Cone of Cold, because it's also resetting the cooldown on your Ice Block, but as I said a second ago, you're not using Ice Block. And Cone of Cold doesn't do much damage, even with the Glyph. Even with the Glyph, it only does, my Cone of Cold anyway, would only do 1800 frost damage, so it's not really hard hitting. I definitely have better spells to use, that is. And like I said, this row I pick Ice Nova because it's very strong and it's also a stun, so I think it's the strongest of the three here, because once again it ties into that idea of Frost Mages being kind of bursty. Like that's where most of their damage comes from their burst. And then for level 90 row, I pick Rune of Power. I don't really like Mirror Images because it's on a cooldown, and Incanter's Flow is kind of inconsistent damage. While Rune of Power has a limitation of needing to stand in it, it's a flat 15% damage increase, so I can't really argue against it. And I just place my Runes of Power to start off with over here. I move them plenty of times throughout. You'll see. I'll also mention when I'm doing it, but this is where I start off with them. And then for the last row, I'm choosing Prismatic Crystal. Comet Storm is not as strong as Meteor is for Fire, or as strong as Arcane Orb is for Arcane. So, I mean, Comet Storm's okay. I used it when I got gold last time on the Frost Mage, but I think Prismatic Crystal once again ties in the idea that Frost Mages are kind of more bursty. So when I have my burst, I use Prismatic Crystal, and it takes things out really, really quickly, as opposed to Comet Storm, which really doesn't feel like it does that much damage. For glyphs, I think Splitting Ice, I don't know if it just makes your Ice Lance do 50% less damage if you're only attacking one target, and I don't know if these targets are too far apart to cleave them with Splitting Ice, so I just don't take it. You can probably take it if you want, but I don't feel the need for it. And then Water Elemental, the Glyph of Water Elemental, kind of makes it seem like your Water Elemental is less of a pet, more of a guardian, like you have a little less control over it. I mean, it makes micromanaging it a little more mindless, but that's not how I'm going to use the Water Elemental. I use it mindfully. I have my Water Jet and Freeze abilities keybound to Control 5 and Control 0. You know, it's the same abilities that are over here. I have a macro for them. The macro is very simple. It's just cast Freeze and cast Water Jet. Very silly that Blizzard won't let you put it on your pet abilities on your action bars regularly, but you know, what are you going to do? Alternatively, you could keybind these two abilities. I had these two abilities keybound across all characters for a while, but then I got to do mouse. I got the Razor Naga, and I unbound all that. So the only glyph I think really worth having is the glyph of Icy Veins in every situation. That is, I think, you know, obviously Splitting Ice might be useful if it's actually able to be utilized in the Proving Grounds, if targets aren't too far apart and whatnot. but in every situation, Glyph of Icy Veins is definitely your best bet, because according to the Icy Veins website, Multi-Strike is the Frost Mage's highest stat priority, and I think I have to agree with it, because I believe Multi-Strike gives you Fingers of Frost procs. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it does, and Fingers of Frost is where the majority of your damage comes from. So Glyph of Icy Veins, definitely a must. It really makes you hit hard, and you'll see in Wave 10 how fast I just take care of that because of Icy Vein, the Glyph of Icy Veins. The other thing is Icy Veins by default gives 30% haste, and according to the Icy Veins website, once again, haste is your lowest stat as a Frost Mage. So it basically makes Icy Veins the worst cooldown you could have into being the best cooldown you could have. So I thought I placed my Runes of Power. They must have fallen off. I'll place them again. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and start the Frost Mage Gold. Once again, just putting my Runes of Power in the center here. I'm going to go ahead and lay down my Prismatic Crystal and just start doing damage to it. I get hit by the globule there, which is not something that usually happens to me on the first wave, but, you know, mistakes get made. So I just blink out of it, because apparently if you use the human racial, your progress is restarted. It cancels the attempt for you. It's really weird. So I move my Runes of Power. What I'm going to do initially here is start off with a Frost Shot and the Banana Tosser. I'm going to go ahead and start hitting the Amber Weaver, because what that does is it gets the globule to be on the Banana Tosser and the Amber Weaver, rather than just one of them. So I get to stand in my Rune of Power and then just cleave the two of them down. As you saw I don't know why I tried invisibility there. As you saw both of them went down without too much of an issue. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to launch my Frost Orb this way, just to get my my Fingers of Frost procs from all three of these guys. I did have to interrupt the Mystic while the Banana Tosser was running away, but he went down without too much of a fight, and then so did the Mystic after that. Now, the Globule got kited into the Mystic, and that served two purposes, both being able to avoid having to kite the Globule myself, and not having to worry about interrupting the Mystic. So what I'm going to do on this wave now is I'm going to move my Runes of Frost over here, because the Banana Tosser likes to run back here. I'm going to Frost Shot the Banana Tosser right off the bat, and then I'm going to go ahead and polymorph the Mystic, and I'm going to just snare the Banana Tosser with my Frostbolt, and allow myself to keep standing in my Runes of Power to take him out. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Mystic here. I used Ice Nova there because it serves as an interrupt, because it stunned the Mystic, so I was able to save my Counterspell, in addition to doing quite a bit of damage to the Mystic. And the Mystic goes down very quickly there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and once again reposition my Runes of Power so they're on the kind of border of the circle. And the reason I'm doing that is because these Guardians spawn and the positioning on them is very important. I'm going to go ahead and launch my Frost Orb here so I can start getting Fingers of Frost procs. And yeah, take out that Guardian pretty quickly, and as you saw, I Ice Nova the Banshee, and he went down with almost one shot. I'm going to do the same thing to this Banshee and see. All it took was an Ice Nova and Ice Lance to take him out. And I'm getting lucky with the Guardian over here. He's had his back to me this whole time, so I've been able to just stay here, not have to worry about moving over to him. One last Banshee to take care of, and he goes down. So now I'm going to just start off this way by using Blizzard on the Vermins. The reason I'm doing that is to get some damage out on them, so the Mystics, instead of healing themselves, will heal the Vermins. Because the Vermin's health is really inconsequential to me. They don't have that much of it, so it's no big deal if they get healed. I take out that Mystic pretty quickly, and now I'm going to go ahead and use my Frost Orb to get some Fingers of Frost procs and take this Mystic out quicker than the last one. In all honesty, I probably should have used my Frost Orb on the first Mystic, so it would have had a better chance of being able to use it in this wave, but it is what it is. What I'm going to do on this wave is I'm going to start off with, once again, a Frost on the Banana Tosser who's going to spawn over here, and then I'm going to polymorph the Mystic over here. The reason I'm Frost drawing the Banana Tosser is because there's an Amber Weaver who spawns just over there, and I really hope to kite the Globule into the Banana Tosser, and it does work. So I killed the Banana Tosser pretty easily, and then I accidentally used Ice Nova on my pet, so I was meaning to hit the Guardian with it so I could get this setup accomplished. What I'm doing now is I'm kiting the globules into the Mystic, because now I don't have to worry about the Mystic casting. Well, I interrupted there just out of habit, but now the Mystic is taking increased damage. So now what I'm doing here, once again, sending my my Frost Orb out just to get some Fingers of Frost procs and whatnot. I kited the Globule into that Banshee, so he would take increased damage. I'm going to once again reposition my Runes of Power. I'm going to actually have this Globule into this wave. Shoot. Not according to plan there. Usually I don't have to worry about that Globule going into this wave, but I did that time, so oh well. What I usually do on that wave is I kite the, I let the Amber Weavers cast their globules and try to kite the globules right back into them. Make them take more damage and get them down quicker. So I'm just, building up my icicles here and trying to get some more Fingers of Frost procs. And his shield's going to go down here, so I'm going to go ahead and use up my Fingers of Frost. And then get two more charges of it by using my pet's water jet. Just do some big damage to him while his shield is down. And he's going to go down pretty quickly here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch my Frost Orb and go ahead and hit the Mystic and the Banana Tosser. I'm going to counterspell the Mystic even though I really didn't need to. The Banana Tosser went down so fast that he wouldn't have even gotten the heal off on him. I'm going to just go ahead and take out the Mystic. There's going to be a Banshee popping up soon. I use Ice Nova there to go ahead and interrupt the Mystic. And there's the Banshee. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my pet's freeze on both the Banshee and the Sha so I can get 2 Fingers of Frost procs for when his shield goes down, which will be in 3 seconds here. When his shield goes down, he takes 300% increased damage, so that's why you really want to have all your big damaging abilities for when his shield goes down. I also have all my icicles ready and good to go on him for when his shield goes down. And now I have plenty of time left in the wave to take him out. He's got only a couple seconds left on his shield being down though, so I'm going to have to work quick here. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab Berserker here because I want to be able to get this guy down before the next wave. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do it. Oh, but I do get a Frost. Oh, that was so lucky. I got my Ice Nova to come off cooldown right before the end of the wave. So I used that to take him out. And that's honestly why I think Ice Nova is your best bet in that talent row, because it's there when you need it, and it's a big amount of damage. So for this wave, there's going to be a Banshee who's going to pop out on the side here. That's why I kind of moved over, because I'm getting ready for him to come out. I'm going to go ahead and use Freeze when he comes out and get some Fingers of Frost procs from my pet. And then get ready to move into Berserking here, pick that up, use Icy Veins, and pop Time Warp as well. Just using all my damage here, taking him out really quickly. Just again, sending a Frost Orb his way. My Rune of Power did fall off, but I don't really have time to worry about that right now, because I got to take care of this Banshee. Just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and put my Rune of Power back down. Oh, and that is how you do Proving Grounds Gold as a Frost Mage. That was a little sloppy at the end for me. That 9th wave, his shield doesn't usually go back up on me. I always have the problem where I have to use something on that wave, and I thought for whatever reason I could get away with it without using it that time, but obviously I was wrong. And I totally forgot to use my Prismatic Crystal, so Obviously, it's doable without the level 100 talents at all, but should have used my prismatic crystal on the last wave. That would have helped a lot. Would have really trivialized wave 10. Wave 9 also. I got away without using my prismatic crystal on wave 10, and without using it on wave 9, but obviously would have really helped on wave 9 because that was so close there. So that's what I would have done differently if I were thinking about it more clearly. But yeah, that's how to get Proving Grounds Gold as a Frost Mage. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, leave a comment letting me know if it helped you out, and subscribe if you want to see more. My goal for this channel is to get gold on all the damage specs of all the classes in the game. So if you're wanting to figure out how to get gold on your spec, this will be the place to look. Alright, hope to see you in the Proving.